Hey guys, what's up? Chris Blum here with another video, and today I want to talk about a book that I recently finished reading, which is the 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. And for those of you that have been wondering who my helper is next to me, this is Ivy, and she is in most of my videos because she does not like to leave my side. So, the 10X Rule by Grant Cardone is a book on setting and achieving success, setting and achieving goals. And for background, Grant Cardone is known for sales. He has a very established and successful sales coaching business and teaches companies and their sales teams how to sell and how to sell the company's product. He's also a real estate investor and real estate syndicator. So the book definitely comes from a business and sales orientation, but it could apply to all aspects of life and setting goals in any area of your life. So today I wanted to go over the 5 takeaways that I got from the book. And the first one is the overarching theme, which is how to set goals to be successful. And from the title, you've probably already guessed, but Grant really drives home this idea of setting goals that are much larger than what you think you can accomplish, right? It's kind of the old adage of shoot for the moon, and even if you fail, you'll land among the stars. So Grant recommends setting goals that are 10 times what your previous goals were. But then that's the mindset part of it, setting the goal. And then the action part, which is how you manifest these goals and bring them to reality, is that he recommends you then do 10 times the amount of effort or action you think it's going to take to reach the new goal, right? So most people, where they fall short, they set a small goal and then they never go about the action to actually achieve that goal. They take very small action, they never achieve their small goal, they get discouraged and they give up. Whereas if you set a big goal, a 10x goal, and then you go and say, okay, what is it going to accomplish to do this 10x goal, and then multiply the action you take by 10, now you have a much greater chance of actually getting somewhere, actually generating some success, and then it will be easier to reach your goals. And even if you fail to reach your goals, you will almost certainly accomplish what your original goal was. So number 2, which I already commented on, was that it applies to all aspects of life. So again, it's easy to think of this in a business framework. So I have a goal of generating $1 million in sales or closing 3 real estate transactions, whatever your goal is. But it also applies to your family life, your religion, if you're religious, your community, how do you give back? And Grant really recommends having a secondary purpose. So even if you're someone that's focusing on your business, focusing on your financial goals, have a reason why. This will make it much easier to keep going after that goal and to stay committed. So if your goal is to make $100 million, that's great, but without a secondary goal, without a purpose, you may lose your way as you try to accomplish this very vast goal. Instead, if you think about your family and providing for your family, or you think about your community and say, okay, I want to make $100 million because I want to be the biggest donor back to my local community. I want to have a foundation that gives back to the people that are in my community. These secondary goals, going wide with your goals, helps you stay committed and helps you have a strong reason why. Number 3, which kind of flows along this having a strong reason why, is to make success your duty and obligation. Throughout the book, Grant says to him that it is a moral obligation to himself that he succeed. It is an ethical dilemma if he is not giving it 100% and really pushing to achieve his goals. This may seem dramatic, but having this strong will, this strong desire to give your all and really make it a moral question to give 100% of what you have towards a problem really will help you towards succeeding and help you stay committed to the problem for the duration of the period that it will take. And as Grant says, only you can know what success means to you, and only you know if you're giving 100%. So from the outside, it may not appear to others that you're giving it your all. That doesn't matter. It's only what you think and what you're giving to your situation. And on the flip side, you may be very successful from an outward appearance, but not giving your all, and only you will know that, right? And Grant talks about it in the book that people say, oh, all I need is $10 million, and then I'll be fine, I'll be set for life, I'll never need to work again. Well, having that understanding that it's a moral and ethical obligation, he said, really changed how he looked at things. And when you get to that point, you may realize that you now have a lot of people that are counting on you for their job. So you may find yourself in a situation where there never really is an exit and that you stay committed no matter what. And so this is an easier way to have a lifelong purpose, is to always give all that you can towards a problem and to make success a moral and ethical obligation. Number 4 is to have a solution mindset and take full responsibility. Grant says that those that find success take responsibility for everything in their life, the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? It is a common practice of those that are not as successful to always find scapegoats, to always find a way to blame someone else other than them for why something didn't work out. But if you truly care about being successful, you have to look hard at yourself in the mirror and take responsibility for everything, every aspect of it, even things that most people would say out of your control. So one anecdote that Grant mentions is the power going out in your neighborhood, right? It's easy to say, oh, the power company, the utility company didn't prepare enough, or it was a freak weather accident, right? Well, that's having a blaming mentality. That's not taking responsibility. And even though it's a bit of a dramatic example, what Grant says would be taking the solution mindset is, I'm never going to let this happen to me again. It's important to my business that we always have power and we're always up and running. So I'm going to buy a generator, and that way if the power goes out, I still have electricity, right? So you can see, even though this is a little bit of an extreme example, that is one way that you can take responsibility no matter what and have a solution mindset. Being successful, especially in business, is about finding and solving problems, right? Problems where opportunity lies. So if you take responsibility and you have a solution mindset, you will be successful. And finally, number 5, which I thought was a good way to look at the world and the comments you may get, is that the emotions of fear and the criticism of others that you get along the way are not a bad thing. They show progress and they show that you're challenging yourself. If you never allow yourself to feel fear, you will just continue to live in a safe environment. You'll never push yourself, and you'll never know if you could have done something greater because you were just staying in that safe zone. So feeling fear actually means that you are pushing yourself and creating new opportunities. So Grant recommends that anytime you have that gut reaction of fear, maybe it's to picking up the phone and calling a customer or reaching out to a loved one that you haven't talked to in a while, whenever you have that initial moment of fear, just pick up the phone and call, or just do the action right away, whatever it may be. This prevents the fear from manifesting and growing larger as you run through your brain of all the different ways that the conversation could go, and allows you to just take action and move to the next step. And then as it regards to criticism, Grant says that criticism is usually the first sign towards admiration. So first, when others see you doing something differently, maybe they're scared that you'll succeed and leave them behind, or they're just not familiar with the way you're doing things, and so their first instinct is to criticize. But once they see you succeed, and as you continue to take massive action towards your goals and reaching success, eventually that criticism will turn over into admiration, and they'll want to aspire to be like you. So if you're starting to get criticism because of the unique or massive action that you're taking, just remember that it could just be because of the envy of others, or because you're doing things differently. So those were the 5 main takeaways that I got from the 10X rule. I'm also commenting a link to a blog post I wrote with a little more in-depth summary of the book below. And if you enjoyed this video, please smash the like button and hit subscribe so I can continue making content like this.